Are we live?
You're live.
We are live. Hello, Facebook family and friends. So we're getting ready to do show number 2 of A Spiritual Connection. Attorney Everett Glenn is with us. It's going to be a blessing. Thanks for tuning in. Call your friends. Share on Facebook. Also, you can go to realurbanradio.com and you can listen live if you'd like. We are grateful that you are there. Chime in with questions. We'll surely get to them. We even have a phone number where people can call in and ask questions. It's going to be good. Thank you for being there. We love you. Thank you. Everett Glenn, he is the boss.
I don't see it on my phone.
No?
It doesn't
All
say.
right, here we go.
It's live.
Oh, okay. So you said it's done? Okay.
Hello. God bless you, everybody. I'm Jeanette, and we're here spiritually connecting, our second show, and we're so very glad you could join us. You know, this is the program that's purposed to bridge the gap between disenfranchised members of our society, provide a platform for people to share their testimony and just how awesome God is. Well, I'll tell you who's here with me today. Everett L. Glenn. He's a pioneering sports attorney and president of ESP, Education and Leadership Institute. The Institute is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that's equipping student athletes, in particular those from under-resourced communities and schools, with the tools to not only adopt an academic and life balance, but to model it as standout athletes, to advocate it among their non-athletic peers, and to use their influence among their peers to remove any obstacles in their path to excelling academically and joining the ranks of the successful. There's so much to say about this brother. Before establishing the Institute, he managed the career of a host of professional athletes. I'm talking about folks like Willie Gault. He negotiated the richest NFL contract in history. I mean, and since that time, even there are 13 other NBA and NFL first-round draft picks that Everett has negotiated contracts for. There's so much more. You're going to learn about it. But Everett, welcome to A Spiritual Connection, and thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You are.
Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, and I know you're just going to be a blessing, and you're going to share not only what you're doing now, but just how good God has been in your life. You're from the south side of Chicago, right?
From Cleveland.
Cleveland.
The east side of Cleveland.
East side of Cleveland. You're over there somewhere. What was it like growing up on the east side of Cleveland?
Wow. Different. It was, I guess it was called inner city,
Yes.
you know, and I didn't think I was poor because, you know, everybody in me lived the same way, had the same stuff. It wasn't until I got into the 6th grade and then was involved in special programs, academics, that I ventured outside the neighborhood to see how other folk lived. And then, but I still didn't realize or think I was poor, but I did think there was something different, and I was, I guess, embarrassed wouldn't be the right word, but I wasn't proud. You know, I meet guys and they talk about what their dads do and what their moms do. And, you know, I think the first time was when I met the guy named Dale Spitzer's son. Dale owned a whole line of auto dealerships in Cleveland. He used to do commercials on television, that kind of stuff. So I'm meeting his son, and he's asking me what my dad did. And my dad, he works at the factory. So I used to avoid talking about what my parents did. And I tried to excel myself so that I could take the attention away from them and they would just focus on me.
You know, you said something that's really, really important for our community today, and that is the significance of being exposed.
Absolutely.
Exposure is a wonderful thing because then you do get the opportunity to see that there is something better, something more to strive for, and I see that you do that with your boss kids all the time. Ever tell us about Boss and what you're doing with the kids in our community?
Well, exactly. I'm trying to do for them what other people did for me, basically. Starting in the 6th grade, I was in special enrichment programs academically between the 6th and the 12th grades. And so by the time I got to college, or by the time I graduated high school, I mean, I knew that I could succeed beyond high school. But I hadn't had that experience probably because my brothers and other folk in my neighborhood, they didn't have that experience. And when I look at where my life went and where their life went, it was just a function of the exposure and realizing that not only was possible, but that I was as good as these people who were achieving these goals, and that I could do it as well.
Amen.
And so what we try to do with Boss is expose these young people from the inner city to things that they, I mean, even just taking them to a game. Most of them have never been to a game. Or go to the Black Gala and meet, architects and engineers and doctors and lawyers. And it's all about expanding their territory. And once they see it, and then they can size up the people that they see, then they can come to believe that it's possible for them.
That's amazing, and it's wonderful that you would that you would give your life to better young people and to see that they have that exposure. The Good Glenn. Now you described your story as being a cross between Jerry Maguire and The Pursuit of Happiness. Now what is that all about?
Well, I didn't do it. Actually, it was the writers who are putting this. They're pitching a book now.
Okay.
And Jerry Maguire was about an agent.
Yes.
And so I represented NFL, NBA players, and then I guess The Pursuit of Happiness was about a guy who came up from nothing.
Yes.
So it's a little bit different in that while I did represent players, I came up from nothing. I think also being sidelined by drugs and alcohol and coming back from that. Is the Good Glenn is actually what they call my dad.
Okay.
And who I never really met, and never he didn't come to my graduation, my high school graduation, middle school, college, didn't come to my wedding. And so again, that's part of why I do.
Yes.
But I do because I don't want anybody to feel like that.
Yes.
These youngsters. Yeah.
Yes. Now that's amazing, Everett. Talk to somebody who may be in that drug scene, whose life might be tangled up right now. Help them to get loose. You said, for yourself, if it had not been for the Lord who was on your side, you don't know where you would be right now. Talk to us about the evolution of you coming out of that and back into being a productive member of society and impacting the lives of young people everywhere.
Wow, I've never done that publicly.
Wow.
But in the program, in Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the steps is you come to believe in a power greater than yourself, and that power could restore you to sanity. And people in the program, they choose to call it higher power, whatever they want to call it.
Right.
And while I wasn't in the church when I was young, I was exposed to it, the Bible, summer school, and that sort of thing. And I went with the family of my best friend, but we used to just sit up in the balcony and play and not really pay attention.
Right.
But as I got older, I tried everything else. And I tried everything else.
Hallelujah. And nobody but God. Nobody but God. It's when you've tried everything else. And I feel your heart, Everett. And I tell you, sitting on the pew in front of me at church, your compassion, your sensitivity, your being able to be touched with the feelings of other people's infirmities is very, very prevalent. And I just bless God for your tender heart, for not forgetting where he brought you from.
Well, it'd be impossible for that to happen. I mean, the first time my wife, I came to church with her, and I opened up the Bible, and I just opened it up to 1 Timothy, and it said that here's a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance, that Christ came to save sinners, of whom you are chief.
Yes.
And for that very reason, he would show patience with me so that other people would come to believe. And then I knew I was at the right place.
Yes.
And then later on in 1 Samuel, I read the story of David and how the Amalekites had come to plunder the land, and he inquired of the Lord, should he pursue them and would he overtake them?
Yes.
And that's when I realized that I could get back what I had lost.
Hallelujah.
And so then I just got busy doing what I do,
Yes.
and I recovered it all,
Praise
more
God.
than what I had lost.
Yes. Seeking God's kingdom and His righteousness, and all of those things were restored and added to you. You know, I've read or heard you mention your wife as your confidant, and just a very strong woman, and there in your corner. Talk to us about her and the role she played, Everett, in just being there for you and with you through thick and thin.
Well, I mean, she took me to church.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, if it had not been for her, really.
Yes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And she's listening, and Deborah is her name,
Yes.
and I just love her. She's.
Hallelujah.
I know this was going to happen, and she did too, because I think of what it could have been like, and what it's like now. I mean, I'm not saying, these tears of joy.
Hallelujah.
Really.
Yes.
And, so she took me to church, and then we got involved in the couples club and Bible study, and I just became just like I did in my profession with the law. I mean, one of the skills I have is to be able to devour or to read a lot of information and then to understand it and to use it.
You're brilliant.
And so I just looked at the Bible like that. So I just said, let me just read this, and now I understand it's really just like a how-to. I mean, how to live, how to treat other people, how to treat your children, how to treat your wife, how to treat your friends, how to deal with disappointment, and that's what I tell my sons now. I mean, I don't care if you believe or not, but if you read this book, then you'll know how to deal with stuff that life's going to put in your path.
That's amazing, Everett. That's so wonderful, and it goes to show you that if we want to learn how to operate anything, we've got to go to the instruction manual to get instructions on how that thing is going to work. And I tell you, you're just being an absolute blessing. We're here with Attorney Everett Glenn, and he's just pouring out his heart, sharing with us how God has blessed him and brought him through so much. He's a very successful entrepreneur, and we just give God thanks for him. We're going to take a little break, and when we return, we'll continue to spiritually connect with Attorney Everett Glenn. We'll be right back on the Real Urban Radio Network.
They were saying they couldn't see him. So,
I'm sorry?
they were saying they couldn't see him, so do I turn it off now?
Couldn't see what?
Him. So that's...
Why? Hi, everybody. Are we still live?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, couldn't see Everett.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's that? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, we're gonna take this 3-minute break. So
Okay. So I'm gonna turn this off.
Compose a little bit, but you got a great story.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take this.
So we're taking a 3-minute break.
3 minutes.
3-minute break.
Recompose.
Hey, everybody. We're back. Sorry for that little interruption, but thank you for being with us, okay? We're live right here at the Real Urban Radio Network with Attorney Glenn.
Yes.
And you can ask some questions, type it in. We'll try to get to them. You can even call in 310-621-4845. That's 310-621-4845. Okay, and I'll announce it again on the air if you're listening to realurbanradio.com. Also, I was going to say something else, but I forgot. It'll come back to me. But I'm glad you're there. God bless you. Happy Sunday.
You okay with
We're going to be tuning back in a second.
Get this extra space right here.
Do what you're going to do, Will.
Okay.
Do what you're going to do. Willie Will's here. Denise is here.
Hey.
Attorney Glenn is here. Jackson Brown is here.
All right.
This is moving?
That's good.
Is there something screwed?
Oh, they just
You want some water?
Everett, the people want to see you. They said they
they
couldn't
see
see
you.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, and you need to do this again to pick up the rest of it. So will you go back to your Facebook page, my page? Go back to my page because it stopped and we have to start it again.
Okay, here you go. Now
My
just
fault.
Oh, yeah, that's okay, so. Oh, minutes. Are we going? We're moving? I should be able to see here and I can't see here. I'm not seeing it on Everett's page.
All right, 30 seconds.
Uh-oh. Jackson Brown, we got a little
Listen to
Mike. Oh, we're going to look for that on Everett's phone so he can share also in a minute, okay?
Just share it.
Yeah, share it when we come up.
Oh, that's how you use that.
We're almost back. We're going to get it together technically and otherwise. I'm Jeanette Aguiar, and we're back spiritually connecting with attorney Everett Glenn, who's just been amazing already, pouring out his heart and just being a blessing to us by letting us know how good God has been in his life by bringing him through, by giving him exposure at an early age, just by getting him back on his feet again, and his wonderful wife, Deborah, who stood by him through thick and thin to take him to church. Praise God.
Yeah.
Everett, what else will you say about it? Here's the question. Let's talk about that rise to fame and fortune. Why do you believe the fall, and what is it that you can say to prevent other people from falling?
Well, I mean, I didn't know God when I was having this success, and I was basically thinking it was because of my own actions and the actions of other people. I think if you were to look back at my life and the kind of success I had in that space representing pro athletes, in 3 years I represented 13 first-round draft picks, 4 of them who became Hall of Famers, and that's unprecedented. And I think, I mean, it's complicated. If you go back to when I was in high school, and I was more of a student than the athlete, even though I did play sports from the time I could walk. And I didn't have much success with girls, for example, as compared to my friends who were more the athlete than the student. And I think a part of the fall was when I had all this success, and I had people calling me.
Yes.
In fact, there's a story I tell people. There's one girl that I liked in high school. I hadn't seen her since high school. And she saw me on the Howard Cosell show with Willie Dalton. And she called me up, and just so happened I was going to D.C. shortly thereafter. And when I went to D.C., I didn't call her. And when she called and got upset with me because I didn't call her, but I hadn't seen her in like 30 years, 20 years, something. So I didn't even think about seeing her. But I think I just, the success, you say, you go to your head.
Yes.
And it went to my head, not so much except for with women. And with women came drugs. In fact, there was a woman that introduced me to drugs. And I think then the fact that I grew up in the inner city gave me the toughness and the determination to decide that I couldn't go out like that. I mean, drugs could be me, because I had survived 84th and Quincy.
Yes.
If I could survive 84th and Quincy, and so then that's basically, I mean, after going into, I spent 90 days in treatment, 3 different treatments. First 30 days, it didn't stick. Because I actually wanted to leave to go to the Super Bowl because I had 5 clients in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And I knew that I needed to be there, right?
Yes.
But I was in treatment, and so I was telling, in fact, the reporter called me because Richard Dent, his contract, we were renegotiating his contract, and so I told him I was coming to the Super Bowl because my father was real ill, right? And then that got into the newspaper, and then my mom called me. And asked me, what are you talking about? Dad is sick, right? I was just making an excuse.
Oh, my.
So I couldn't be there. So they let me actually, I mean, because I was free to leave, so I left on day 28 of a 30-day program and went to New Orleans for Super Bowl 1985. And I didn't do anything in New Orleans, and I came back and I used again, and I went back in for 30 days. This time it was outpatient. And that didn't stick. And then I went to the same place, but they asked me to go down to Sacramento. And I was living in Oakland at the time. And when I showed up in Sacramento, they said, "Yo, we heard about you, right?" And they told me to leave my brain at the door.
Oh, okay.
And just to, because I had this, intellect of sorts. I was trying to figure out how I could use drugs and still perform, and perform at a high level. And it was after that second session that I just submitted, which is sort of like, submitting to Christ.
Yeah.
And I just said, whatever you guys tell me to do, I'm going to do it. And that was, 30 years ago.
Amen. Praise God. Praise God for bringing you out on the resurrection. That's the last part of overcoming. Thanks to William Byers. He's listening poolside in Costa Rica. Man, we're all the way in Costa Rica. Hey, William, so glad you can join in. And Tia Morris is watching as well. Tia was with us last week with her book, Mama's Curse. She's an amazing lady. Denise, thank you. She's here and there. And Victor Greenwood, thanks for chiming in. God bless you all, and I hope you are being blessed by this spiritual connection with attorney Everett Glenn as he pours out his heart and shares with us just how good God has been in his life. What makes you gravitate toward equipping student athletes academically?
Well, I mean, the fact that far too many of them are failing, first of all. And again, it goes back to the success I had was because other people intervened in my life.
Yes.
I mean, there was Miss Spann and Miss Wade, who I'm still in contact with, and I met them like in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And, Mr. Vaughn, and Mr. Parker, and Mr. Perkins, and Hal Payne, and these folk, they believed in me.
Yes.
Before I mean, they saw the potential in me.
Yes. Yes.
And then they just encouraged me and provided me with an opportunity to grow. And so I know what's possible for these guys, because if it could happen for me, that a guy from 84 from Quincy, if you just expose him to stuff, it's almost like the movie Trading Places, where you just put a guy in that situation, especially if he's street smart.
Yes.
Then he could succeed at a high level in this other world. And so I look at it as my moral responsibility, really, to point to them. I mean, the statistics are frightening. I mean, here in Southern California, 75% of the boys of color who graduate high school don't qualify to go to college.
75%.
Yeah.
75%. I know you are really into the statistics and into what happens with our young people as they transition from high school to college, particularly as they are interested in sports and maybe have the desire to play professional sports. And you have been very proactive with the Huffington Post blog, with commentaries, with letting your voice be heard as it relates to what our young guys want to do, and ladies, when they transition from high school to college. Speak to us about that, Everett. What's happening with our black athletes and in the professional arena coming out of college or even going into college?
Well, I mean, they're being exploited. I guess it'd be the best way, if you want to use one word, they're being exploited. The whole community actually is being exploited. I mean, even if you look at USC and UCLA right here, they take these kids out of inner city Los Angeles, and the question is, what do they put back into the community? Ohio State, I'm from Cleveland, so Ohio State's the best example for me. There's a guy by the name of Ted Ginn who sends all of his kids from Glenville to Ohio State, but Glenville is falling down. I mean, literally, the building is falling down, but Ohio State's making, over $1 billion in revenue off of these boys. And so really the big picture is more, part of what I do is because as a community we have to come to look at these young men as resources.
Yes.
Just like the Arabs and those folk in the oil producing countries, Iran and Iraq and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, how they viewed oil in the early 60s as a resource. And when the major oil companies came over to those countries and exploited them to get their oil because they didn't have the resources or the know-how to even, get their oil out of the ground, and they paid them a royalty for their own oil. Okay, so that royalty is like the scholarships that they give our children. So they give them a scholarship, but then they make the 95%, and we get the 5%. And so I think the big pictures that we have to come to look at them as resources and then organize around them. And then we could do the same thing that those oil producing countries did by forming OPEC.
Yes.
And causing a 70% shift in the economics of the oil industry just by claiming the oil. It was their oil. So we'll deal with you, but we're going to deal with you as an owner of the oil, not as somebody you're doing us a favor. And imagine what we could do if we came together around these guys for producing all this money for all of these institutions, and then our community is
suffering.
Yeah.
It's suffering. You know, Attorney Everett Glenn is here, and if you would like to ask him a question, call in right now. The number is 310-621-4845. That's 310-621-4845. He is a wealth of information all by himself. So you're a sought-after speaker and commentator. Your opinions have been featured in Black Press, USA, CBS, Huffington Post, and Inside Sports. You continue to raise the important issues at the intersection of race, sports, and money. So what can we do at the intersection of race, sports, and money to help prevent that collision?
Well, I mean, the collisions are happening, and they're carrying us off at every collision. They're carrying us off. And I think if we tie this into faith and God, then we have to realize He didn't give us a spirit of fear, but one of power and of a sound mind.
Yes.
Okay, and so again, it's almost like we're afraid to claim our own children, and we raise them up, and then we turn them over to other people who historically haven't had the best interest at heart, who haven't produced the kind of results that would warrant that we just keep turning them over to them. So we just really realize the power that we do have. I mean, I'm not an exception in some respects, perhaps, but there are a lot of other, black doctors and lawyers and accountants and engineers and architects. I mean, we built this country, if you know your history.
Yes.
I mean, they built a new stadium in Inglewood, but we got pyramids in Africa still standing.
Oh,
And they didn't have the kind of tools and equipment.
technology, absolutely.
So we have more, but our children, and part of it is the school system and the whole educational system. Our children don't even know who they are. They don't know who we are. They don't know what we have contributed to this country. And so part of what we do through BOSS is to these young brothers, our goal is to make them bulletproof.
Yes.
Like little ninja warriors, so that they can withstand the attack of the enemy, just like the devil.
Amen. Amen. Praise God. Everett's here. I know you all have some questions to ask Everett. Call in. 310-621-4845. He is a wealth of knowledge and information. He truly has our young people's best interest at heart. We're here at Real Urban Radio Network, and we're spiritually connecting with Attorney Everett Glenn, who is an absolute tremendous blessing. And we're gonna, let's see, what's going on around here, Jackson? The Real Urban Radio Network has teamed up with the Inglewood Airport Area Chamber of Commerce to promote the We Care Hurricane Harvey donation campaign. So if you would like to make a donation, you can drop them off Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. at the Ways Home Care and Health Agency located at 1620 Centinela Suite 306, or the Inglewood Airport Chamber of Commerce located at 330 East Queen Street in Inglewood. So these are some of the items they need. They need the personal hygiene products, diapers, blankets, bottled water, and clothes. So be sure to stop in and make a donation. It looks like somebody's calling in, and Jackson told me, he said, somebody can call in, but you got to answer the phone. You know how to answer an iPhone, don't you? So I neglected to answer. So you're on the air. Thank you for calling in. You have a question for Everett?
And this is Larry Smith. I know who that is.
Larry Smith. Everett, you're doing an awesome job, my brother. We need more men like you to stand up and get our young folks together. All this bag of cans and shooting one another for no reason is unnecessary. We got a lot of black counselors in that community. We need
love you too, man. Yes. Yes.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much for calling in. That gave me chills, Everett.
Oh, that guy been knowing me for 65 years.
Man, he had a front row seat.
Yeah. Well, he didn't see it all, no, because I moved to California.
Okay, then he saw a good portion of it. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be back to Spiritually Connect with attorney Everett Glenn on the Real Urban Radio Network.
Quick.
Thank you, Jackson. That was awesome. Okay.
All right.
I got a few more things written down here.
Pretty good. Hey.
Oh, hey, I forgot. Hey, so,
You still on?
We still on,
no,
we
we're on
still live
Facebook.
on
Hey,
Live.
everybody. Thanks
Someone
for tuning in. We're talking to attorney Glenn. I almost lost my composure there. I forgot it was going on over there, and I'm going on over here, too. But we're just glad. We hope you're being blessed. Everett has a tremendous testimony of how God has brought him through. And we're just privileged to be able to share it with you on this format. He's amazing.
You know how to do it.
Stick around. Everett, what you got to say to him right there?
Oh, I just, well, I didn't finish saying about, you asked me about Deborah.
Yeah.
Deborah
Oh,
said
we're going to say that on the air, so you got to hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Now, I wonder why I'm trying to see the live on your phone for this next feed, and I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is, Everett. Okay, so I'm going to share it now, and we'll be back sharing the post with your friends there. So we're good. Every praise,
Yeah, this is 6
every
songs,
praise
but we'll
is
only
to
play
our
about 3
God.
minutes.
Okay. All right. Happy Sunday. We pray God is blessing you. We know all things work together for the good of them that love him and who are called according to his purpose. And we know that you are the head and not the tail, the above and not the beneath. You are the righteousness of God through Christ Jesus. Yeah. Every praise is to our God. Hey, don't let me praise him by myself. Praise him with me, Everett. Yeah. The word this morning was amazing. It was absolutely tremendous. And just know this, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And God has a plan for you. He has, his thoughts of you are good and not evil, and it's to bring you to an expected end.
Amen.
He's got your number, and he's coming down your street. Yeah.
Well, now, so people can hear what we're talking now?
Facebook, on
Yeah.
Facebook, on the radio station, it's going on over there, and the song is playing.
So
But
I
we're
would
still
like to talk
Facebook
about,
Live.
why I didn't believe
Oh.
in terms of like how people who were in the church,
Okay.
and you know, I thought if you was in the church, then it was like perfect.
Ooh, we had that same disease. Oh, we'll talk about that.
And then I saw what these people
Amen,
were,
just an
and I
amen.
saw what they were doing, and
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
wait a minute,
yeah.
And then now I come to realize it's a personal.
Yes,
So I
personal
can't really,
relationship.
I do
Yeah.
this for myself, and you know, I just have to be an example. But I still will be folks that
That's good,
praise
Everett.
and shout, and then like they cuss you out in the parking lot. Or,
Yeah. We'll talk about that. That's gonna bless somebody. That's gonna help somebody. Denise, I wondered if anybody has written anything that I'm overlooking
Let me see.
that I need to share.
They just said they want to bring him on there. Tia M. Moore says she wants to bring you as a guest. Diana O'Brien is watching and wants to bring you on as a guest.
Oh boy!
Uh-huh.
Oh boy!
Yes. So all these people wants to bring him on as a guest.
Okay,
Do
okay.
anybody have like a dime?
All right.
I don't need a penny, I need a
okay,
dime.
so it is on my page.
What'd you say?
You got a dime, a change, I'm looking for a dime. I can try to close, change this mic. I'm looking for the smallest thing
Oh.
possible.
We're gonna be back in a minute, live.
That's not even small enough, so.
The dime's not small enough?
Nah, dime is as small as it gets.
Okay, so it's showing on my page. So I don't
Yes,
do
it
anything
is.
else. It's just
You don't have to do anything else. It's
Okay.
there. Yep, there we are, Everett. We're good. God, our
those are the questions here.
deliverer. RealUrbanRadio.com
Hey.
to hear live. Hey, everybody. Yeah, we're taking a break right now. We'll be back on air to spiritually connect with the awesomeness of Attorney Everett Glenn. Happy Sunday.
I get your number. Yeah. We can talk, man, about these kids and stuff.
Yes, he is.
Well, because really, I mean, see, like, again, like even KGLH, okay, that's like a voice piece for our community. And they should be talking about this. So we're talking about $25 billion. I mean, they don't make $25 billion. Okay, so they should join in. I mean, because that's how we got to get this word out.
Yeah, together.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I created this, because I'm about giving back in the community. And we have a nonprofit as well. So, you know.
And this is uncensored radio.
Well, I mean,
you
Karen
can say
Slade,
some things.
she can hear this, right? I mean, I mean, because she's from Cleveland. Okay,
Right,
Karen
yeah,
Slade, who's the general manager.
From Cleveland,
Yeah, I mean, and I know her, and I know lots of people. I know her best friends that I can't get on KGLH. And I just want to talk.
You have to give, you know, see, here's the deal. Radio is what I've done.
Yeah.
And radio was designed to be able to super serve the community.
Yeah.
That's what they have their license for.
Yes.
It's to first and foremost serve the community.
That's right.
And, you know, they do a lot of things. I mean,
Oh, they do.
Things like this should be.
We're talking about economics. This is
Yeah.
dollars and cents. I mean, and they could solve a whole lot of problems if we just, again, in the Middle East, sometimes in 70, they build roads and schools and
We
hospitals
can't do nothing
and
about that
airports.
pimping overseas, though. We can't do nothing about that pimping overseas.
No, I'm
As
saying,
an example.
I'm saying they took control of the resource, and then they used the money from the resource
Yeah, I know,
to build
yeah.
roads and schools and built their whole country up, and that's why we're afraid of them now, because they got this
That's
money
why
they
they was
use.
fighting over there, man. It was about that all, man. It wasn't about no weapons of mass destruction and all that.
It wasn't no Iraqi freedom. It was.
Is it time?
All right, everybody, let's get back in the mode.
All right. We're going to come back now. I'm Jeanette Aguiar, and we're back spiritually connecting with Attorney Everett Glenn. And I tell you, Everett, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your knowledge with us. God has truly blessed you. So I want to know about your church experience when you became a churchgoer. Your wife took you to church. How did that line up with what your perception of church was?
Well, actually, I mean, I started to go to church when I was younger, but I was just going to church again with Alvin Lane, who was another guy like Larry Smith who called in that I've known my whole life. Okay. And we used to go to church with him and his family. And we just went there and sat in the balcony, and we didn't really listen. But again, I mean, I observed, and I thought, this is why I never took turned my life over to Christ, because I didn't think I was perfect. And I thought the folk that went to church, they didn't have the same kind of challenges that people who didn't go to church. And but then I started seeing that they, could shout and scream and do everything in church, but then their lifestyles, it didn't change how they lived, except for that hour or two that they were in church. And so, I mean, I didn't think about it, I don't think consciously, but when I went to church with Deborah, and she got me, we didn't just go to church, she got me involved in, again, the couples club and Bible study, and I looked at it like I was looking at the law, and so this was a problem. I just need to get as much information, and it's all right here in this one book. I didn't have to go to another book. I just had to read this one book, and so I came to realize that really it's a personal deal, and so I don't really worry now about what other people do or what they don't do or how they live, and I just try to be, again, if you go back to that 1 Timothy, just try to be an example, and I'm not perfect either, but I'm a whole lot better than I used to be.
Yes. We're all a work in progress.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a personal thing. I mean, and so I think if people look at it that way, as opposed to judging other people and how true they are to the word or whatever, just get it for yourself. And if you be an example, and then if it just spread like that, then we wouldn't have the hypocrisy that many people think goes on in the church today.
The Bible does say, examine your own self. Yeah. And if we do that, when we do that, there's really no time to check anybody else out. Yeah. If you have questions for Everett, will you call us at 310-621-4845? And I'll remember that Jackson said it's my job to answer the phone, so I'll answer it, okay? I do want to thank Real Urban Radio Network. I want to thank Jackson Brown and Tammy Mack for their tenacity to put this project together, to make it possible for the voices in the community to be heard, to make it possible for programming. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity, for the privilege to hear what people in the community have to say, and to hear how God has blessed people in the community. And so thank you, Jackson Brown. Thank you, Tammy Mack. You two are amazing. You're absolutely amazing. So Everett, what advice would you give young athletes looking to pursue a professional sports career?
Know how to do something else.
Okay.
Know how to do something else, and like Clark Kellogg, who was he was my first NBA client, and we went to talk to Clark back in 1982, and my best friend and mentor Al Wellington was there with us at the meeting with Mr. and Mrs. Kellogg and Clark, and Al Wellington, he had just been sitting in the background and not saying anything. And so finally Miss Kellogg said, what's your role in this whole deal? You haven't said anything. And he said, well, Everett handles the basketball and the contract and everything. I just came really to ask you one question. And so they said, well, what's that? So he said, Clark, what else can you do besides play basketball? And we were the only people that had asked him that, and he had an answer. He has an insurance license, and he talked about how, he uses notoriety from basketball, talk a little basketball, and then turn the conversation to insurance.
Yes. Hi, hold on just a second.
Yes.
Everett will finish his thought, and then you'll...
Oh, no, that's all right. We can,
okay.
But then you have to...
know how to do something else.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you for calling in, and you're on the air.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's, I just look back over my own life, and that's how I actually explain it to people. If you could take a guy from 84 from Quincy like me, and then for 6 summers, put me in 6-week programs on college campuses, and change my whole perspective on what's possible for me, then you could do it for anybody.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, is there a charge for this program?
It's free, no.
It's free.
Yeah.
How will I get more information?
Well, you can go to our website. The program is called BOSS, by the way, which stands for the Business of Success Beyond Sports. And the website is www.esp, as in Paul, eli.org.
Well, I just want to thank you and commend you for all the great work that you're doing in God bless you, my brother.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your question. Thank you so much. That was very, very important, Everett. If you'll share that one more time, the website and how to get in touch and what BOSS stands for, that would be great.
BOSS stands for the Business of Success Beyond Sports, and the website is www.espeli.org. Now, but back to your question about what they need to do. So, what they need to put in the time and the work. Like Michael Jordan, for example, he wanted to go pro, and or Kobe Bryant wanted to go pro, and so they spend a lot of time on their game. And that's what you have to do. But besides working on your game, you have to. We have a saying with our kids: you work on your game, you make a living. You work on yourself, you can make a fortune.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and so they have to spend an equal amount of time
Yes.
working, doing math and science, and learning how to read and write. And that's the problem. That's where the disconnect is. And in this, again, it's a systemic problem because it starts in middle school with these, in AAU and all these coaches and all these folk, many of whom themselves haven't achieved the kind of success they could and should have through sports. They got the ears of these kids, and they're telling them just work on your game and work on your game. And again, and you have to do that. But if that's all you do, then you will never be able to take full advantage of the opportunity, even if you make it, because your character is going to destroy the gift that you have. And again, there's examples of it. I mean, we were just talking about son and I about Josh Gordon of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, he's a beast of an athlete. I don't know nothing about him personally or anything, but it doesn't look like he could put weed down. Okay. And again, had he spent some time working on himself and not all the time working on his game, because I mean, again, and I'm a victim of it, so I'm speaking from experience. I didn't understand it like that, but there ain't no drug in the world that's worth throwing your life away or your livelihood.
Yes.
But if you don't spend time so that you know how to develop this other part of you, then you go with what's working, and then you have people making excuses for you or putting up with the crazy behavior. And same thing that they did for me when I was using drugs, but it starts young. It's got to start young, and that's why we start with these middle school kids, all of whom say they want to be in the NBA, NFL, and so we bring in help for them to get better at their craft, but also make sure they learn how to read and write and do math. We have a math madness competition taken off of March Madness, and just this past summer we had 2 weeks we documented 20% increase in math test scores based on an assessment that Dr. Carpa Soiree, who's a PhD, one of the youngest in this country at Long Beach State, developed this math assessment tool, and then we use this First in Math program that Robert Son out of Philadelphia gives us access to. So it's just the passion comes from knowing what's possible, and from the Word it says all things are possible.
Yes.
And if you believe, and so that's really what we're trying to get these young people to do, is just believe and have hope, because I know now that hope never fails. I didn't know that before.
Amen. Amen. That's a blessing. We're here spiritually connecting with Attorney Everett Glenn, and it's amazing. The program is amazing. Your testimony, what you've accomplished in life, your success, and how you're using that to give back, to impart into our young people today is just it's just wonderful. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. If you have a question for Everett, you can call us 310-621-4845, and we'll be glad to answer your question, or if you have a comment, that's wonderful too. But we'll be back to Spiritually Connect with Attorney Everett Glenn on the Real Urban Radio Network. Okay, hey, we got what left, Jackson? A 9?
Yeah, you have about 9-10 minutes.
9-10? Okay.
10 minutes.
Hey!
Facebook Live.
Thank y'all for being there, Facebook Live. I'm not sure there were any questions. I see Debbie Arnold's there, and Tia's there, and Mother Ross, are you there? No, that's Pop Ross. Pop Charles Ross, all the way in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Pop, love you. Who else is there? Invite your friends. Wonderful. Thank you guys for listening. God is good. Everett's amazing.
Yes, he is.
Willie Will, hi.
Hey. Okay, so we'll just 10 minutes, guys.
10 minutes?
So,
Can we do
9 to 10
a
minutes.
billboard?
But yeah, you can do.
This is all got me wondering.
I'm Jeanette Aguiar, and we're back spiritually connecting with Attorney Everett Glenn. And let me just share this with you. The Guy Parker Show is on every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for candid conversation about a variety of topics, including relationships. They're so funny, Guy Parker Show. We love them. And we're going to listen at 4 o'clock. Everett, so we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and who are called according to His purpose. Now, if you had an opportunity to do anything differently in your past, what would that be? And this is in an effort to help someone maybe avoid the pitfalls that you had.
Wow, that's easy. I mean, if I had to do it over again, I would have read the book.
First.
Yeah, I mean, I had the book when I was a kid. I just didn't know that the answers was all in there. And so if I had to do it, that's the only thing I would have done different there.
Yeah. Come to know Christ earlier.
Yeah.
Come to know what's in the good book. Come to read and know the instruction manual and the author and finisher of your faith sooner. That's powerful and profound. Thank you. Now, how has your past impacted or influenced your parental plight? I know you have 4 sons,
Yes.
Justin, Jared, Jonathan, and Daniel, and you have 2 grandchildren,
Grandsons.
E2, Everett 2, and Emil.
Emma.
Emma.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How has what you've been through, your walk, influenced your parental?
Well, I mean, I think that they know that I know that I don't have all the answers. But again, there is a book with all the answers, and so I don't care what it is that you're going through. I mean, I try to. The advice I give them is from what I have learned about Christ
Yes.
in terms of how to deal with whatever it is that they have to deal with, and.
Hallelujah. And it's real to you, Everett. That thing is real to you. It is heartfelt and real. Praise God.
I mean, they talk about this curse, this curse had family, and so I've broken the curse.
Hallelujah.
For my boys,
Hallelujah.
and so they know that no matter what happens, even between mom and dad, I mean, it's going to be all right. We're going to work it out. No matter what happens and whatever is going on in your life, it's going to be all right. If you believe and if you trust and if you just are patient and understand it may not work the way you want it to work and when you want it to work, but in the end, everything's going to be all right. And again, I just use examples of my own life. They all know. They were younger, so they don't really know the real details of it. My oldest son. And I'm so proud of him because he has learned from my mistakes.
Yes.
And then he shared it with his younger brothers and set the example for them.
Yes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So I would just say, read the book. I don't care if you
Read the
believe
book.
or not, just read the book.
Read the book.
And find out what's in the book and then apply it to stuff. Because again, you could even go in the back of the book and just by subject matter.
Yes.
And so if you're having a problem with whatever, just look and then go read what it says about that. And there'll be help for you.
Wonderful. That's amazing, Everett. Thank you. Read the book. If you get nothing else out of this program today, get that message, and that is to read the book. Read the instruction manual. Read the Bible. See what God says about a thing. How do we contribute to your 501c3 organization? How do we help you do what you do to help our community, to help our young people?
That's interesting that you would ask that because that's also a test of my faith.
Yes.
The lack of support
Yes.
that we receive, even from people who I've known my whole life, people who I've helped. One of the things about a drug addict is that we have a hard time asking for help, right? And so it's part of the recovery. And then also because of my relationship with Christ, I'm not as reluctant to ask for help as I was in the past. And even because of my relationship with Christ now, I can deal with the frustration and the disappointment of not getting help from people that you would think would help you. Not help me, but help us help these kids.
Yes.
Because again, I mean, they're failing at, I mean, if this was happening to white kids, with all due respect, if 75% of white kids was graduating high school and could not even qualify to go to college, there would be white folk would stand up and they'd be in arms, and they would shut down schools, and they would hold superintendents accountable,
Yes.
and they would fix the situation.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so that's all we're trying to do is fix the situation for our boys, and so they can help with their time, they can help with their talent, and money. I mean, it's what we need to. That's because everything costs. I mean, what we do for these kids. I mean, we have 2 weeks with them. They have them all day. We feed them. We take them on field trips. We have them
Amazing
during the
field trips.
school year. We just had them yesterday at Cal State Long Beach, and but again, it's because of my faith. I don't even worry about it. You just asked me the question.
How do we give?
Okay.
How do we
I don't
give?
even
What do
worry
we
about
do?
it because I know that He gonna make a way
Yes.
somehow,
Yes.
and he always He keeps doing that.
Yes.
I mean, because I sometimes wonder like how we gonna do this, and then a check will come in the mail. You know, there was a guy that I played basketball with in high school, not high school but in college, a white guy, Gary Ferber, and I hadn't talked to Gary since law school. We actually competed against each other in college, and then went to the same law school. And I hadn't seen Gary since 1977, even talked to him. And just one day in the mail was a $5,000 check.
Wow,
Yeah,
what a blessing.
you know,
What a blessing. So, Everett, what if somebody else wants to drop some money on you? Where do they go? How do they do that?
Well, they can go to the website,
Okay.
www.espeli.org, and there's a button, donate. And
Donate.
yeah.
Donate. Let's do that. You know,
Yeah.
let's
But I'm
give back.
trusting God, not these folk. But that would be nice if they helped, and I would love it if they would help, and they should help. As I was thinking on the way over here about the most powerful sermon that I'd heard, and I can't remember the guy's name, Bishop out of Miami, and the sermon title was To Get Out the Boat, right?
Yes.
And they talked about how people need to practice what they preach and walk in what they talk in and
Yes.
live in what they give in.
Yes.
And that's the challenge I have with this whole walk is people say one thing but they do another.
Well, God uses people too, Everett. I know you're trusting God to meet every need, and He will. But He uses people, and so we're praying that someone's listening today, and He will place it on their hearts to be a blessing to your program, to the BOSS program, because you are making a huge impact, a significant impact in the lives of our young people. You are changing our community. Maybe we'll have to put less locks on our doors, less bars on our windows. We can see more success among our African American young people. So thank you. Thank you.
No problem. And a shout out to some of the guys, Chauncey and,
Yes.
and Kevin and Hassan and Jacob.
Who are these people,
and
Everett?
Taven. These are some of our boss kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and,
wonderful.
And I told them my story, right? And it was like, if you'd have to have been there to see the look on their face.
Yes,
When I
yes.
told them I was a recovering drug addict.
Oh, wow.
Because they thought I was just like this great guy, right? Who would never have
Well,
no
you still
problems.
are. You are a great guy. You've had some problems, and I
Yeah.
wish we could talk for a whole nother hour,
Yeah.
but Jackson is telling me I gotta wrap it
Now, is this
up.
Jackson? This is not Jackson
This is
Limousine.
Jackson Brown. No,
No.
this is Jackson, a Real Urban Radio Network Jackson.
Oh, okay.
That's Jackson. Everett, it's been absolutely delightful connecting with you, and I pray that all who heard are blessed, and their heart is pricked to do something to make a difference in the program that God has entrusted you with. Next week is going to be a surprise. I'm going to tell you, it'll be a surprise. We were anticipating Ernest Thomas being with us, his new book, Raj to Riches. But he is out and about. God's got him out on the East Coast, and he's book signing and all of that. So it's going to be a special guest next week, and I hope you'll join us 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Real Urban Radio Network. Everett had a half word to say.
Oh, no, I just wanted to thank my wife, Deborah,
for
for sharing, for allowing me the
Yes.
time and the freedom, because I couldn't do it without her.
Thank you, Deborah.
To be able to share. I spend more time with these kids than I spend with her.
Yes, thank you, Deborah. Thank you for giving Everett the freedom and flexibility to do what God has purposed him to do. We love you. Thank you for being with us. See you next week. God bless. Bye-bye. Thank you, Facebook,
Oh, okay.
again. Thank you for tuning in with us. We'll see you next week, okay? 1 o'clock. I hope you were blessed. Bye.